Hello my fellow adventurers and welcome back to Living the Grand Adventure. I'm Kevin. We're back down here at the Germantown area. We're at the Conservancy Rd trailhead. I'm going to hike in and spend the night, just a quick little overnighter. If you've seen the dehydrated taco video, you understand that this is an impromptu little trip that honestly we weren't planning on doing, but we found a little bit of time this weekend. It's a little bit later in the day, roughly 4 o'clock. Shane and Andrew's with us. Alex is with me as well. We're going to head in. Shane and Andrew did have to work last night. They do work third shift, so that's one reason we're a little bit later, because they did need to get a little bit of rest before we were able to do this trip. But we have about 4.5 miles. We're staying at Cedar Ridge again. That's where I stayed at during my my first solo trip. It was the second night that I was actually there. I stayed in Site C. This time we're going to try out Site B, which is what I believe is a little bit more conducive for hammocks, and it was a little bit larger site. So we're looking forward to that. So we're going to try to get in here, get hiked in about 4.5 miles. It's going to take about 3 hours, we're hoping, and get set up. And then we're just going to relax and enjoy the night. Then we'll have about 2.1, 2.2 back out to the car tomorrow over here at the Conservancy Rd trailhead. It's going to be an awesome trip. Definitely looking forward to it. Hope you guys enjoy. We're going to get on the trail here in just a moment and get everything going, guys. Okay guys, so we're heading in now, starting our hike at 4:30. So we're going to knock this pink trail out. It will conjoin to the brown trail, which is part of the connector trail that leads back down to Twin Creek. We're not going that far. And then we'll get over to Site B at Cedar Ridge and enjoy a nice relaxing night. It is extremely warm and very humid. Kind of sucks. It's actually the end of September and this is the hottest day we've seen since August. It's actually, when we pulled in the parking lot, it was 91 degrees. Real feel of 96. So yeah, we weren't expecting this. We were hoping for fall weather where it'd be a little bit cooler. I even had my hiking pants pulled out and a long sleeve shirt, and I'm like, I'm not taking any of that. So we're going to kind of deal with the weather and the heat. It's not supposed to rain. It's like a 25% chance of rain, you know, for the next few days even. So we're hoping we don't see any rain as well. But this is the trail so far, heading back into the Germantown Metropark, guys. We're at about 7/10 of a mile in about 20 minutes. So we're definitely making good time. But as you can tell, definitely the trail is not difficult, at least in the area we're in right this minute. It's been pretty flat. Only maybe 1 or 2 in major inclines. And of course they weren't anything that we couldn't handle at this point in time, of course. Seem to be walking through like just basically a different pavilion area. The trail just kind of skirts these areas right now, but that's okay. It's kind of neat. But that seems what we were doing right now. All right, so we've done the northern end of the pink loop. It basically runs past what's called Sunfish Pond. That's the pond we were taking video of. It was really nice there. A lot of people actually fishing today. Of course, like I said, it's good weather. And we are at point 6, if you can't tell. We'll take a left here. There's actually a point, one of the pink markers over here laying on the ground. It looked like it got blown over or somebody pushed it over, I'm not sure. That way is actually part of the orange trail going out that direction. But we're going this way. And some of this section we've actually hiked. Once we get down to that creek, we've definitely been there. That would be the creek that we actually were at directly after lunch on our day hike here at Germantown that we recorded. And that's where we're going to be. And we're going to try to filter some water either through there or once we get back on over to the brown trail. That is, like I said, that is the division trail between the two metro parks, the northern end of that up to Cedar Ridge. So guys, we come down from point 6 down a little incline. It actually bypassed the area where we actually had lunch the previous time we were in this area. And now we're down next to the creek, but if you can't tell, you can't really see it. It's over there. We know for a fact because we've seen it. This is all overgrown now. Of course, with it being beginning of fall, you know, this is starting to die off. But in the spring, all this overgrowth, all of that is not here, and you're able to get all the way down to the creek. We do have video down there from back in April. It's interesting to see how an ecosystem flourishes, and very similar to the moon, of course. It waxes and wanes and does its thing, you know, going dormant during the winter, coming alive during the spring, pretty much overgrowing the whole area in the summer. And now here in the fall, it's slowly starting to fade away. Still early fall. Give it another month, a good bit of this will actually be gone. And we're going to have us a little incline right here. We knew this was coming. We're coming back out of this plane now. And it shouldn't be long. We'll actually be meeting up and separating from the orange trail, heading on the pink still, and then reaching that divider trail that we're looking for to get over to Cedar Ridge. It's a little bit of root and rock walking up through here. Not too bad though. We've definitely seen worse. Red River Gorge, I'm talking to you. But definitely a pretty area. But definitely a lot of signs of fall, guys. Instead of going that way, we go this way. Because we went that way last time. This is where they split. So guys, we just finished up at the pink loop. Come up out of that little valley there where the creek is. We take those steps up right there. Actually, the car is literally right over there. But we wanted to carry our packs, part of conditioning, part of, you know, viewing it as, you know, we're actually doing a backpacking trail. So it's kind of something we pushed ourselves to do. But this is actually the division. Like I said, that goes up there, that completes the pink loop. Like I said, the car's right there. But we're going out this direction, up under this bridge, and continuing out this direction. This is actually starting into the connector feed, you know, the trail that leads between the two metro parks. If you notice, We'll actually get a little bit closer here. On this pillar, it actually says TYT, or TVT, excuse me. And that means Twin Valley Trails. So that's what they consider this entire area, you know, when you put all the trails together, they consider it the Twin Valley Trails system. TVT. So yes, we're going on out that direction. And about 1.8 miles roughly is where our campsite is. And we do have to stop somewhere along the way and get water. First opportunity that we see that's very, very conducive, we're doing it. We're not going to play the game where, oh, well, we can wait and see if we can get water later. We're not doing that this trip or any trip going forward. But this is a wide open meadow. As we continue along, we'll get down here, get some water, get to our campsite, get camp set up. We'll definitely show you all that, guys, because I know everyone enjoys seeing, you know, new trails and new things out here that we're doing. We did just go ahead and filter about 4 liters of water. We're carrying up roughly 8, but that's for 4 people to drink on tonight, dinner and breakfast. And ironically, as we were coming in, the very first spot that we filtered was the spot I filtered back in June when I bypassed the site and actually had to come over here. So that's really about the only way that you're going to be able to do it. It's one little tiny offshoot. And there it is, you know, you filter. Water was much lower now, of course, not being the wet season, which in a way was kind of awesome, made it a lot easier to filter. But we're probably 4/10 of a mile or so from the site now, which I'm kind of excited about because it is a little after 7, and it's going to get dark on us shortly. And I'd really prefer to be at least to site by dark. You know, if we're not set up or anything, I'm not stressing that. It's not the first time we've set up in the dark. But I don't want to hike night like this trip, guys. Really don't want to do it. But I've done this part of the trail, and I've got a good indication of what it looks like. And we're getting there. So we'll probably check back with you as we enter site, guys. Well, guys, we just got to site at Site B here at Cedar Ridge in Germantown, and it's not a bad site. We're definitely gonna be able to get a couple of hammocks up. They've got a tent they're gonna set up, so we're gonna get site set up pretty quick. I looked at all trails. We did 4.7 miles roughly, and we did it in 2 hours and 40 minutes, so that was pretty quick, and that included stopping to filter for about 25, so literally about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we did make some pretty good time getting in here, guys. Well, adventurers, we made it to site. Like I said, we're all set up. It's kind of early. Let me take a look at my watch here. It's only 8:35. So yeah, we did pretty good getting in here. I mean, we didn't actually get on trail till almost 4:30, 4:40?
Yeah.
And we hiked almost 5 miles and got set up. We're completely set up, got everything up. Actually, everybody's starting dinner. I'm gonna eat here in a minute. I'm kind of hot, so I'm kind of letting that kind of cool off and feel a little bit better. Yeah. But so far, pretty good night. Good little trip. Shane's actually got his tacos going. He's already eaten. Lexi's getting ready to start hers. Andrew's stomach's a little upset. He got hot. He's kind of like I am. You know, we're kind of waiting for everything to kind of settle, and then yeah, we're probably gonna tear into him. I'm hungry, but not ready to eat. So, but yeah, I'm definitely digging Site B. I definitely like it better than Site C. Site C is great for tents, but you know, you saw how I set up my hammock. It kind of was rough. Now, where I do have my hammock, I'll show you guys in the morning. If I did not have my new Hiking Guru straps, I would not be able to set up here. I am literally to the very end of the straps. I think I'll sleep comfortably because it's got the right lay, the right, you know, shape. But literally another half foot, I couldn't have set up here. So got lucky with that. Lexi has a pretty good setup. We're just gonna get some dinner and then just enjoy it, guys. All right, guys. Yeah. So everybody's just about done eating. I've got my food going. It is what, 9:15? So not too bad. Definitely enjoying the night.
I'll destroy that squirrel.
But yeah, everybody's pretty much eating. Like I said, my food's going. It should be maybe 5 more minutes and I'll be eating, and then it's just time to relax. Bugs are a little prevalent up here tonight. Anybody that's needed it kind of got a little bit of deed on, so we're doing pretty good. But yeah, it's been a fun trip. Definitely nice to be out in the woods again. It's been way too long. Yeah, it's definitely been nice to be out on the trail again. It's been about a month since I've been able to be out. Been busy with some things, and got some things I had to do over the last month. Nothing happens. I've got a few trips planned though, so that's gonna be kind of cool. But I figured I'd check in with you and just kind of share dinner with you for a few minutes. On the trail dinner with Living the Grand Adventure. All right, so.
How's your face clean?
His light.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got like.
I thought that was coming from your phone.
Does green, blue, and red.
Wow. So you can bust them with that.
Well, good morning, adventurers. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here at Germantown. It's about 9:30 in the morning. Went to bed about 1. I woke up one time throughout the night, and I've been up since about 9:15, so I got a good 8 hours and 15 minutes sleep probably. Feel really, really, really good. Kind of re-energized. That's nice. Everybody else is actually still in bed. I was the last in bed, first up. 9:30 is a little late on the trail, but you know, for an overnighter, especially with Shane and Andrew used to being on third shift, I was kind of prepared to be up a little bit later. They actually went to bed early. I wasn't planning on that, so there's our little setup over there at Site B. And since we've been to Germantown twice now, I'm able to actually get over to Site A. We're going to take a look at that. Site C is where I stayed last time, and like I said, we're in Site B this time. So we're going to take a look at Site A now, mainly because I meant to do that last time, but there was actually someone in it when I left, so I wasn't able to go ahead and do that. The gentleman that was actually over here last night is gone. So we're going to go take a look at this one. That way you'll know every site, at least between Pine Ridge and Cedar Ridge. Eventually I'll go back to Oak Ridge, and you know, we stayed in B there, but we'll take a look at C and A there as well. That might be next spring before I do that though, because I do have other plans for this winter. Yeah, this one, it's a nice site actually. I like the logs here where you can actually sit. B doesn't have that. Not really anywhere to put a hammock. It's a very small site. A tent, kind of like what we have, the Bonger 2, would work real well. I guess if you snuck back over in here, you might be able to get probably a hammock there. You know, that's probably about it without actually coming off site. Maybe over here between those two trees, if you have like the straps kind of like what I have. That honestly, I don't even think Mom would go between those, because that's a good distance and those are very big trees. So, but I mean, it's not a bad site. I mean, you know, a couple of small backpacking tents, yeah, it would be cool. Of course, they've got the post there. But that's all of Cedar Ridge. You've seen it now. I'm gonna go back over here to site. Probably start waking everyone up so they can get up and get their stuff going. Get some breakfast. We had dinner at the site last night. I'm going to probably go over to the common cook area today to eat breakfast, just to get the common, you know, the full experience. And Also, there are some logs where everybody can sit. We kind of had to makeshift a couple of seats and stuff for people to sit at the site as we ate dinner. So that's okay. But like I said, definitely a pretty morning. Kind of overcast, so we're not getting a lot of the sun, but it's already starting to get humid. So come back down here to Site B. I look at it this way: any trip here in Ohio without rain is a good trip. And there's the Monger 2. Probably about ready to do a review on that. I think I'm gonna take it out next weekend, run it through its paces, and then yeah. And there's Lexi's little setup, and of course mine. And looks like our neighbors are taking down their site. So we're tearing down now, getting everything packed up. We decided to do that first before going ahead and doing breakfast. We wanted to go ahead and just get everything kind of packed up so we're ready to go as soon as we get done eating. I'm pretty much packed up. I have like my cook kit, my food, and my ditty bag to put on my pack, and that's all I have left. And I did it in about 25 minutes. So I actually had the hammock and rain fly and all that tore down in less than 20. It's like right at 20. It's like 21 minutes. That's a lot faster than I used to be. When I first started this, you know, I'd be looking at 35, 40 minutes just doing that. Of course, now I do have the sleeves. That makes a big difference. That speeds it up. Last night I actually hung my static ridge line and put my hammock or my tarp directly over that, so it was easier to center. When I took it down, it was a lot easier to take down, so that sped it up a little bit. Just little bitty tricks to kind of make things a little bit more efficient on trail, and that's what I'm doing, is slowly just kind of developing my way of getting things taken down and put up so I can do everything as efficient and as fast as possible. I'm trying to get it to where I can do the hammock as quick as I can do the tent. I mean, a tent setup, especially like the Monger 2 we have, it takes no time. I mean, I can have it up, set up in less than 10 minutes, tore down in about 10 minutes, and especially if I'm by myself, it definitely doesn't take anywhere near the amount of time it does as a hammock. So that's the one positive over a tent that I found. Now I sleep comfortably in both and everything like that. They're generally the same weight, because when I do that, I actually factor in underquilt and hammock and rain fly and all the things that go with that. And then as far as the tent goes, it's the same thing. I count the tent and my sleep pad, things like that, and I kind of factor it out, and they're both in the ballpark of about 7 pounds. So that's with sleep pad. You know, the tent actually itself only weighs like, I think, 4.5. But so I mean, they're comparable in weight. So really, I mean, the only con over the hammock that the tent has is the speed of teardown and put up as well. But honestly, I can actually put the hammock up a lot faster and take it down. Now, one thing I think I can do is I have a very small sleeve. Basically, the sleeves I bought had a very large one for your hammock, and then an extension. That way, if you had a longer hammock, I mean, my hammock's 10 foot. If you had a 12 or a 14 foot, I think they make 14 feet hammocks, you know, you would need that extension to kind of pull it all together. Well, I'm using the extension on my rainfly. It worked really good with my bare butt tarp, but the tarp I have now is a lot bigger and it's a little bit harder to stuff it, and it's taking a little bit more time. So I think one thing I can do is either get a smaller rainfly, which I don't think I'm going to do. I kind of like the rainfly I have because it does give me a lot more area, especially coming into the winter months. It's going to come in handy if it's snowing or raining. So I think I'm going to invest in another set of the Chill Gorilla sleeves. And if I do that, I believe, you know, I could put the longer sleeve on my rainfly, and it'll tear down as fast, if not faster, than the hammock. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is invest in that. It's $20 on Amazon, and you know, to give me an extra 5 minutes on trail, oh yeah, it's worth it. So you know, the extra 5 minutes, you know, over the space of a week would give you an extra 35-40 minutes on trail. That's a lot of, you know, that's, you know, over a mile, you know, roughly a mile, you know, 3/4 of a mile, depending on how fast you're going, what type of terrain it is. That's a lot of time, guys. And plus, it's just, you know, it would be easier. I'm looking for, you know, as much efficient as easy, because easy, you know, getting stuff tore down where you're not having to put as much strain and effort into tearing down, and you can focus more energy on the trail, will make a big difference. You know, I mean, you know, the energy that you're expending tearing down, if you can minimize that, you get an extra hour before you have to do lunch. So that makes a big difference too. You know, you just got to factor those things out and try to get everything as efficient as possible. So guys, we finally got a little bit of sun coming out. Clouds seem like they're kind of burning off. I think it was more of a morning haze that we had. And that's awesome to see. It's going to make the trail a lot easier to get out on, you know, not quite as gloomy as what we were looking at last night. We even thought it was going to rain on us, so. And they pretty much got most of their stuff tore down. So we're probably going to be doing breakfast here shortly. Lexi's finishing up her straps now, and all she's got left to do is throw her stuff in her pack. You know, if the guys need help occasionally, I will step over and help them, but I try to let them do as much as possible by themselves, because, you know, that way they learn the skills. That way, you know, there'll come a time when maybe they want to go out as they get older without me, you know, and that's perfectly fine. That's the whole idea behind this, getting started a little bit young. And you know, Andrew and Shane, they're both over 18 now. If they decide they want to go somewhere by themselves, yeah, go have fun. Lexi's getting there. She has quite a bit of the skills. She's interested in learning some of the bushcraft skills, you know, how to start a fire with a flint and steel. And I haven't really had a chance to do a lot of that this summer or last summer, really. But going forward, like especially this winter, like I was telling her, you know, I'm not going to go in and hike 12 miles in snow. You know, I'll be willing to go in and hike maybe a couple miles to a campsite, set up maybe for a day or two, and actually do some bushcraft stuff, and that would be kind of fun. Because it's not something I've had a chance to do. It's not something I've really been able to do on the channel either. I mean, I think you've seen me start a fire a couple of different times with steel, you know, with the, you know, the shreds and the feather stick and stuff like that. So, yeah, I know a lot more than that, guys. Of course, really, I'm more interested now, you know, because I learned all that when I was younger, and more interested in just doing the hiking now for conditioning and getting healthier. Plus, you know, I enjoy getting out and seeing as much as possible and doing the trails. And you know, when you knock out 12-15 miles in a day, it's definitely, you feel really good. Hey, I did that, you know. And eventually, you know, probably next summer I'm gonna be pushing it where I'm doing 10, 12, 15 miles every day over the space of maybe a week on a trip and things like that. We're going to see how that goes and see what I can do with that. But yeah, I believe we're going to get breakfast here shortly. They are about done. Like I said, I mean, I have all my stuff's done. I mean, I have just, you know, what I need to make breakfast, guys. Well guys, we came up to the common cook area. We're going to eat breakfast here. It's about 11:30. So, you know, I mean, most of the guys didn't even get up to like 10:15, 10:20, so that's cool. We're all having oatmeal. Mine's low sugar of always. I'm doing me a cup of tea as well. It's going to leave us roughly about 2.5 liters between the four of us to get out, but we literally only have maybe 1.3 miles back out to the car, because we're actually going to take a little detour, see a couple of different things, and it's going to cut off probably about a half mile off of our hike, which is fine because we actually did that section yesterday. Just trying to find something new to look at and maybe video for you guys. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty morning. The sun's come out. If you can see the sun shines behind me all through there. It's really nice. And Lexi's setting up her food now. I'm actually boiling water for me, Shane, and Andrew, because Shane forgot his fuel canister. It's one reason I do carry extra. That's why I've carried the big ones instead of the 110, like I told you in the other video. Stuff like that happens, and I want to make sure I've got enough for everybody. Like I said, once I actually do some more solos and get out like that more often, or longer trips, I'll be carrying the smaller canister and probably a smaller pot. I'm looking at probably getting maybe, I'm not sure, probably like a 500 milliliter, about half the size of what I'm carrying now. But we'll see how that goes. But we're going to enjoy breakfast. Breakfast on the trail with Living the Grand Adventure, guys. Yeah. And then we're going to get on trail and get out of here. So guys, I figure while we're stopped and having breakfast real quick, you know, we take a look at a couple other things. This, of course, is the area map. They have it posted with all their campsite regulations and information and such. And that's the trail, of course, that leads out. If you go out straight out that way, C, B's right there, and on over here is A. But I figure, might as well take a look at the Privy. That way you guys get a good idea of what they look like here. Hopefully this will be as nice as it was the last time I was here, because it was very well stocked, very clean. Haven't been to it yet, but I'm gonna walk up here and take a look. So this is literally it. I mean, it's well stocked, decently clean. There is actually a trail journal. So I guess they've taken it. Maybe they'll have to bring out a new one. But you know, it's just a regular, basically permanent porta potty, I guess you could say. I mean, it's on a concrete slab with the septic tank underneath that they come out and occasionally clean. And if you remember the other video that I was talking about private property and such, literally that over there is private property. And of course you've got, I would assume this is probably, they bring maybe ATVs up and clean that, or maybe they have a drive up in here and somebody walks in, whatever. I'm not sure exactly how they do it. Last time I was here, I actually walked up to right about here, and over in this pasture there were horses and cows actually grazing, but none such there now. But back over here's the park, and that's what I keep saying, you know, we're definitely close to civilization, very close to private property all the time. I would have shown you that in the last video, but it had gotten a little bit dark by the time I'd made that discovery, and just thought, well, maybe next trip. So, and like I said, right there, of course, is the common cook area where we're having breakfast and everything. And the trail, of course, leads out this direction back to the main trail that we'll be taking to get out of the area and head home. But definitely a nice little area, especially, I mean, you know, for beginning backpackers who want to just come out and try out their equipment. or even experienced backpackers who have new equipment they want to test, this is a great little area, I believe. Cedar Ridge is nice, Oak Ridge is nice, and you know my thoughts on Pine Ridge. But we're going to finish up here and get on trail, and we'll see you on the trail, guys. Well, we're heading out from site, guys. Back on the trail. It is roughly 12:05, so I'm figuring we'll be back to the car no later than 1:15, 1:30, which will be awesome. And we only have like a 45-minute drive north because we're at the northernmost trailhead here at Germantown, so that's going to make it a lot easier. And it's definitely clearing out to be a nice, pretty day. Sun's out, sky's pretty much blue in every direction. So it should definitely be nice to get out of here. Should be able to get some nice video down next to the creek as we're heading out, because we do get kind of close to Trend Creek as we're heading out this direction that we're going. Yeah, you guys have seen all this already once before, early in the morning on a Sunday back in June. It's about 7 o'clock that time. I'm like 5 hours later this time, but that's okay. Last time I was still exhausted. This time I'm very re-energized. Good 8.5 hours in the hammock. I'll always do that for you. So I think everybody had a good trip. We've enjoyed it. A little short overnighter. Like I said, if you watch my dehydrated taco video, you know I was speaking of an impromptu trip. That's kind of what this was. We all just kind of decided, yeah, we're going to go out this weekend and just have some fun. Could get back to the air-conditioned car and heading home, and we're going to stop and get us a bite to eat. It's going to be awesome. Craving that Diet Coke, guys. Every trip, always craving my Diet Coke.
I don't like the pack that I'm so far on this side. I feel like I'm gonna melt. Oh, you're recording. Never mind.
Just about done with the trail. Come up on this little ridge. It's kind of nice looking. So yeah, we're in the process of finishing it up. Did pass a trail runner just now. Had a hydration pack on his back. It's kind of neat. He was moving too. Younger guy, probably early 20s, late teens. Too old for that now. May have been able to do that in my 20s, but not now. But yeah, the forest still is nice looking, and the humidity I just checked is about 65%, and it is 82 degrees now, and all of that is going up. So glad we're going to be out of here before the humidity and the real heat really kicks in. We're still sweating a lot and very hot. And of course, with the humidity, you do run out of breath a lot easier. Sun is kind of intermittently coming in and out of the clouds. But there's only about a 20% chance of a shower, so I don't think we're going to see any rain. Especially considering we'll probably be off trail in the next 30 minutes, I'm thinking. Barring any craziness. Definitely looking forward to some rehydration with Powerades or something a little bit later, and some Diet Coke for lunch. It's gonna be awesome. I think we made the determination. Shane and Andrew, they want to go have a Japanese buffet. And I'm like, okay, it sounds good. Something definitely different after the trail. I'm used to either a burger or pizza, so That's definitely different, guys. That's all right. Definitely like a good Mongolian grill. Keep, you know, I can pick out my own ingredients, and I know which sauces are keto. So it's definitely great that I can stay keto on the you know, after the trail this particular trip, and I don't kind of have to re-up the next couple of days and do a little bit of fasting to try to get back into ketosis. So that's definitely a plus. Yeah, we come up on this area yesterday, and I would believe this is some type of foundation of an old building or something along that line that's been tore down. There's some blocks over here as well. Be interesting if I can find the history of what this is. I may look it up and see if I can determine what it may be. I don't know if I'd be able to find it, but there's a lot of information on the internet, so we'll see what maybe I can figure out. But yeah, it's literally right here, just off the main trail. So kind of interesting, guys. Neat stuff that you find on the trail that, you know, you're not expecting. Kind of like that one flagstone slash chimney, I'm not sure which it was, that we saw basically on the other side. But I didn't take video of it this time because there was a lot of overgrowth around it, but we did take video of it in a previous Germantown video back in April. And yeah, we happened upon that. I never did find any information about what that was. I would assume just an old homestead, an old house. You know, it's kind of close to that creek. I figure you get good water source for somebody who come in and build a home there, or some type of cabin, maybe a hunting cabin in the past, because it was really weathered. I mean, I would give it a good, I would say a good 100 years old at least, if not longer, maybe even 150. So, and that was all that was left, was because I believe it was basically a flagstone, you know, like a, you know, main support for a house. Probably the back end of a chimney is what it was, and it was all it was left standing was just the one stack of stones about 5 feet tall. So this is a neat little area as we come through. Yesterday it was starting to get dark, so I wasn't able to get great video of it. Kind of a cool little valley. I think they're kind of ready to just get off trail. They're like, Dad, quit filming, let's go. So we're gonna kind of rush on here. So here's a little creek, guys. You know, a little bridge that's gonna go across it. Did you see you saw a frog? Huh? I see him skipping. He went underneath that log there.
Yeah.
This would be kind of neat in the wet weather, because I guarantee you this would be pretty much full of water. You could filter here too, guys, if you really wanted to. Another option for you. I kind of skipped that yesterday because I knew we could get a little bit closer to site, like doing where we did actually filter water, because I'd actually done it there already. So guys, we came up on this. This is the Robert K. Siebenthaler Natural Area. I believe it's just like a nature walk. There's actually a parking lot right over here that you can park at and come into it. I'm not sure the length of it or whatnot. We're not going to do it today because we're wanting to get to the car so we can have lunch. Plus these two have to work tonight, so I want to make sure we can get them home in time that they can rest some before they have to go to work. But this is kind of what it's all about. You guys can pause the video if you want to read that. It's just a conservative area, conservation area type idea. And here you go. Yeah, it's probably, like I said, just a little nature hike up in there. But you know, that's something you probably come in and want a day hike, or you know, come in and day hike it and then hike on over to the site. That would be kind of neat. Either way. But we saw that as we were heading over there, and I wanted to stop and look at it and, you know, get you guys some information on it. If y'all, you know, if anybody would decide they'd like to come down and take a look, there you go. Robert K. Siebenthaler. Got it right that time. But it's kind of neat. Probably a nice area to go check out, you know, see some local flora and fauna maybe. We haven't seen anything really bigger than a mouse or a frog this trip, but you know. Andrew said that he did see a snake crawl between my legs on the trail. I didn't see it. It was a garter snake, so no big deal. But third trip this summer that we've seen a snake or evidence of a snake, because we saw the copperhead at Red River, saw the snake skin at Vesuvius, and I had a snake crawl between my legs that I didn't even see. But Andrew said he saw it, so that was kind of crazy. I saw it, something moving up in the brush. I didn't get a chance to actually see the snake itself, so of course those are pretty quick. It was probably just trying to get away because Lexi was in front of me and she crossed paths with it, and it probably just darted across the path trying to get away and went between my legs. So interesting. So definitely watch for snakes on trail, guys, especially here in Ohio and in Kentucky and anywhere in general. So we've got, I'm giving a rough estimate, less than a half a mile to the car. It's getting very hot and the humidity is definitely picking up. I mean, it feels wet. Everybody's sweating, everybody's getting a little miserable here, guys. So guys, we're gonna go down here and take a look at this too as well.
Dang.
Down this flight of stairs here. This is another little area that's here. I believe you can park here for that nature walk that we were talking about. A little bit of rocky coming on down through here. Some rock steps. Kind of neat. And then like a little picnic type area. Kind of cool. That's the standard fare that you see at all these kiosks. No swimming. Not sure where you'd swim. So that's what it looks like. Shows all the different backpacking areas. Of course, you've got your map, and they do a like every season basically I think it's like 4 times a year they do like a little magazine talking about what they're doing in the area. We are currently right here, and we're going to here. So literally that's all we've got. We've got to go back up here and hit this trail and come out. That won't take very long at all. Of course, here's the pink trail miles, but we did actually kind of get off trail a little bit thanks to All Trails and the guy that submitted it. That's okay. And right here is the parking lot, and there you go, Robert K. Siebenthaler Natural Area, and this is the parking lot for that. So there you go. And you park here and go up and take a look at that nature area, and that's pretty cool. Okay guys, we've just kind of exited the trail. We just have the field walking up here now, and it's about 2/10 of a mile. We come out right there, and this does empty out into one of their front country camping sites. Now these are a little bit more expensive. Back country is $5. These are $30, but they're, you know, literally you can pull up and park your cars right in here. Here's the rules for this. You can actually do a fire here as well. Now, just to let you know, the $30 does include 1 cord of wood. So they have one stored in here. Basically, they would pull that out, set this over here for you. I believe all of this is for one night. So it's like basically getting 2 or 3 bundles, like say at Tractor Supply or one of your local places that would sell it. So for 30 bucks, you're getting basically say $10 to $15 worth of wood plus the stay overnight. Primitive camping right there. So, you know, where you wouldn't have to hike in, you could car camp, you could bring a cooler up in here. I mean, if you have a truck, you could bring a propane tank and, you know, propane grill type idea. And there's definitely plenty of area for multiple tents. There are some trees back here on the back side that you could probably get a few hammocks, 2 picnic tables, a really, really nice fire pit, places to sit right here at the fire, an actual trash can right there. These are pretty nice, guys, especially like say you bring in, I think you can have up to 12 people here. I'll have to check that. We'll slap it up on the screen for you guys. You know, maybe 3 groups and split the cost at $10 a piece. It's not a bad deal, guys. I mean, even a couple of nights here would be really, really nice. And there is a Privy right over here. But, I mean, this is nice, guys. And, I mean, the grass is cut. if you're looking to test some equipment, or you're just in the mood to do some camping, or if you got family members that aren't able to do the trails quite as easily, guys, here's a spot where you can come camp and it's great. The only thing it doesn't have is water, and it doesn't have electricity. But the thing is, I think just up the road, less than 2 minutes, there's a trailhead that does have water access, so you can always bring in maybe like 3-4 gallons of water. It's car camping. Use that, and if you need to refill, it's just a 2-minute drive up the hill. So that would be kind of cool. And like I said, for 30 bucks, I mean, it's a little expensive, especially if it's just like one person coming in. But if you've got a group that can split the cost, it's definitely worth it. And that's where the trail's going. We're gonna go up through there, back up through that field, underneath the bridge, and we're back at the car, guys. So we're back to the field here. Got less than 1/10 of a mile back to the car. All we have to do is walk across this field, and there's a set of stairs over there back to the trailhead. So yeah, definitely knocked out this trail. It's been awesome. And as far as mileage, I'm rough guesstimating maybe about 7.5, depending on a couple little side jaunts we had. But definitely turned out to a pretty day. Sky's blue with some clouds, some cumulus up there. Sun's out now, pretty hot. Of course, we're in the middle of this field, so it's definitely beating down on us now. We're coming back on that bridge that we crossed yesterday. Well, come under yesterday. And yeah, trail's about over, guys.
What'd you guys think of it?
Yeah, what'd you guys think?
Oh, it was fun. I want to do it again. My adrenaline's up.
Maybe not this trail. We'll find another one.
Definitely, if we can, I would love to stay at the campsite down there. It is
Yeah, that front country campsite was really nice. As a family outing, it would be kind of cool to go do that, maybe a night or two. Build us a fire. Might look at that. I don't know if we're going to get to it this fall, because we do have some stuff going on over the next month and a half. But maybe next spring, that might be an idea for us. And it's real close to home. It's literally 45 minutes, so it's not too bad at all. And right over there are the steps, guys. Yay. Another trail down. Ah, steps. And here we are at the trailhead, guys. It's
one, a spider, two, a beautiful rock.
That's kind of funny. And guys, if you remember, this is where we started yesterday. That was a great trip here at Germantown, guys. Beautiful day, a couple of days of weather, no rain whatsoever, really dry. Probably actually a little bit too dry, to be honest, because our equipment's really dusty, but that's okay. Today's turned out really beautiful. Sun's out, nice weather. My watch says it's 91 degrees right now, so we definitely got some hot temperatures, but it's been a great trip. Everyone's had a blast. We're ready to get into some air conditioning, get rolling on the road, and go get us some lunch. Looking forward to some Japanese Mongolian grill type style food, and maybe a glass of water and a good Diet Coke. I'm really going to enjoy that. Looking forward to it. And you know, definitely a great trip. So guys, thank you for joining us on our trip here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, hit the notification bell, you know, the whole 9 yards for YouTube. It definitely helps us out, but we really appreciate your support. Love sharing our adventures with you guys. So guys, I'm Kevin for Living the Grand Adventure. Alex, Andrew, and Shane were with me. We had a blast on the trail. Just so you remember, guys, always live your grand adventure to the fullest. We'll see you on the trail in the next video. Take care.